My beloved, pause. Right here, right now, eternity leans into this moment. You did not stumble upon these words. I drew you here because I see the weight you carry, the ache hidden behind your smile, the silent battles that have drained your hope, the healing you've prayed for, the peace your soul has longed for. It begins now. Do not scroll past this divine invitation, for what I am about to speak is not just comfort. It is a lifeline. Stay with me, because with every word, I am breathing life back into the places you thought were lost. If you walk away now, you may walk back into the very pain I came to lift. But if you stay, if you dare to listen to the end, your healing will begin, and your heart will remember who you truly are. However, I want you to understand this. Your journey is not yet finished, and the words I am speaking over you today are still unfolding, word by word, like droplets of living water falling upon the dry soil of your soul. You are the one I chose before the foundations of the world were laid. You are not simply someone I happened to notice in a fleeting moment of emotion. You are part of my eternal plan, a precious detail in the grand tapestry I am weaving with blood, sacrifice, and everlasting love. But I know there are moments when you feel lost, when your heart seems torn between belief and doubt, between the light I placed inside you and the shadows that threaten from the outside. When your memory falters, step forward. Do not seek the world's delight and the freedom it offers. There have been long nights where you lay still, unable to voice your thoughts, yet your heart echoed with a quiet question. Lord, are you still there? I want you to know, not merely as head knowledge, but as a deep assurance anchored in your spirit. Yes, I am still here. I have never left. My presence is not dictated by the emotions you experience. I do not waver with the inconsistent beat of human hearts. When you feel empty, it does not mean I am absent. When you do not hear my voice, it does not mean I have gone silent. Just as the sun continues to shine even when hidden behind dark clouds, so my presence continues to surround you even in the moments when you feel most alone. My eyes have never stopped watching over you, not even when you've strayed from the path I've set before you. I see you not only in the fiery prayers, but also in the times when exhaustion leaves you speechless. Even the silent sighs buried deep within you are prayers I hear and understand. Child, you must understand this. The enemy is subtle. He does not always appear in terrifying form, but often disguises himself in things that seem harmless: a hasty thought, an unchecked emotion, a fear left unaddressed. He knows you are a vessel of blessing, so he does not attack your strengths. He targets the cracks, old wounds not yet healed, careless words that wounded your soul, expectations that were betrayed. He wants to make you question your worth in me. But do not let him steal what I have inscribed upon you with the very blood of the Lamb. You are chosen, not because you are perfect, but because my love for you is complete and unwavering. I am not looking for perfection in you. I am looking for a tender heart, a heart that dares to return, dares to weep, dares to surrender. I am pleased when you honestly admit your weariness more than when you pretend to be strong. I love you even in the moments when you feel most shamed. You don't need to do more to earn my love, but I long for you to go deeper into communion with me. Not because I am lacking, but because in doing so, you will be filled. My love is the only place where your soul will find true rest. Not the rest that comes from mere relief, but the rest that brings new life. I know there are times when you look around and wonder, why is that person being lifted up while I am still being held back? But remember this, a great tree must have deep roots. What I am building in you requires time, patience, and endurance. You are not a temporary project. You are a temple being constructed through every obedient decision, every step taken in the dark, every moment you chose to stay, even when you didn't fully understand what was happening. And it is that very faithfulness that is shaping you into someone I can entrust with great things. My beloved, listen all the way through, not just with your ears, but with your heart. For every word I speak carries within it keys that unlock spiritual doors. You may not see immediate changes, but the words I plant in your soul today are quietly taking root. A day will come, in a moment that seems ordinary, when that seed will sprout and you will experience a breakthrough that comes from me. But if you walk away before hearing all that I have to say, you may miss that moment. Not because I take back my blessing, but because you turned away just before the door was opened. I am walking with you, not merely to witness your journey, but to guide each step you take. Every choice you make today is a brick in the foundation of your tomorrow. So do not rush. Do not trade what is precious for the pressure of haste. Do not let distractions rob you of revelation. Every moment in my presence is a sacred treasure. Every time you choose to stay, you are choosing life itself. You may not see all that is taking place in the spiritual realm, but I do. I see the enemy lurking. I see the traps being set, but I also see you, the one who is trembling yet still standing, weary yet refusing to give up, stumbling yet still trying to find the way back. And to me, that is more precious than anything else, for a faithful heart, no matter how small, can shake the heavens. One person who dares to believe while others doubt is someone I can use to perform miracles. My beloved child, there is not a single circumstance in your life that I do not understand completely. Not a single tear swallowed in silence that I do not see. Not one long, restless night in loneliness where I was absent. I never stand at a distance watching your pain as an outsider. On the contrary, I step into it. I breathe with every heavy sigh. I dwell within the unnamed fears. I listen to every broken breath in the stillness. Even when you cannot feel me, I am there, never stepping away for even a second, never releasing my grip, never discouraged by your frailty. You often think you must be okay before you can draw near to me. But child, it is precisely when you are shattered, when all you have left is a heart full of scars, that I am closest to you. I am not drawn to your strength put on for show, but to the sincerity of a soul that dares to cry out. I do not seek perfection in your performance, but tenderness in your spirit. Every time you want to collapse but keep walking anyway, every time you do not understand but choose to trust, that is when you touch my heart more deeply than any eloquent prayer ever could. Remember this, my child. My presence is not confined to moments of convenience. I am not only there when you sit in a quiet room with no noise and no distractions. I am also present when you're rushing through responsibilities, when you weep alone in a hospital hallway, when you sit silently after a conversation that left your heart broken. I do not limit myself to the holy scenes you imagine. I am the God who steps into your mess, into the places you're ashamed to show, and I turn those places into holy ground through my unconditional love. You are walking through a season where everything around you feels like it's shaking. The stability that once felt familiar now seems fragile. The people you trusted appear distant. The words you once heard from me are now questioned by the noise surrounding you. But my child, do not let what you feel in a fleeting moment blur what I have spoken with certainty. Truth remains truth, even when you cannot feel it. My promises stand firm, even when every other foundation collapses, and my love for you has not diminished, not even when you walk in weakness, in doubt, or when you feel like giving up. There are moments when you ask, why doesn't God make things easier? But, beloved, I do not create difficult seasons to hurt you, but to deepen you. The places where it seems there is no way out are where you learn to rely on me, not through logic but through a faith refined by the fire of trial. It is in those places that you discover true strength does not come from controlling everything, but from surrendering fully to me. It's where you learn to walk not by what you feel, but by what I have promised. And even in the midst of what seems to be falling apart, I am quietly doing something new. Not a temporary healing to help you forget the pain, but a deep transformation so that you no longer live barely surviving from season to season, but live strong regardless of the season. I am making you like a tree planted by streams of water, whose leaves remain green through storms, whose roots stay anchored deep. You are not only being protected, but being trained for something greater, a spiritual position where you will not only stand firm for yourself, but become a shelter for others in their storms. I know sometimes you don't just want comfort, you want answers. You want to know why and when. But my child, there are things I cannot reveal to you immediately, because what I prioritize is not your temporary satisfaction through answers, but your growth in faith. If you knew everything ahead of time, you wouldn't need faith. But faith does not grow in certainty. It grows in the choice to believe, even when you don't know. I am not playing hide and seek with you. I am inviting you into a relationship where you don't merely seek solutions, but seek me, the one who is the source of all solutions. Let me continue to heal you, not just on the surface, but deep within your soul. Let me break up the ground you've tried to cover with silence. Let me step into the memories you thought were forgotten, but still sting every time they're accidentally touched. Let me wipe away the tears you've never dared to cry out loud, because only I am gentle enough to touch your pain without making it bleed again, and only I am powerful enough to turn your wounds into victories. Don't run away from the pain anymore, beloved. Run to me, because it is in my arms that you will not only be comforted, you will be reborn. There is no failure of yours that discourages me. There is no fear in you that makes me withdraw my promise. There is no moment of weakness I cannot use to bring forth something mighty. You were not created just to survive day by day, but to live a life full of glory. Not a glory given by men, but a glory that reflects my very presence within you. My beloved child, sit down and let your heart be still in this sacred presence. For I have something deeper to whisper into your soul, a calling not merely to comfort, but to restore your faith in me. You have endured many upheavals. The noise, both outside and within, has often sought to drown out my voice. There have been times when they shouted in your face that you are not enough, that you will fall, that what I have promised is just a beautiful illusion. But my child, I am God who does not lie. Once I have spoken, my word will not return void. It will accomplish what I desire and achieve the purpose for which I sent it in your life. Do not let the chatter of people, no matter how reasonable it may seem, no matter how well-intentioned, cause you to doubt the path I have laid out. Do not let temporary dark clouds make you forget that the sun still shines behind them. I do not speak based on circumstances. I speak based on my eternal will. What I have begun in you is not a fleeting journey, but an everlasting plan. And in that plan, every trial you go through has a purpose. Every drop of sweat you shed is recorded. Every slow step you think is meaningless is actually bringing you closer to the divine destiny I have appointed for you from eternity. You may not see it now. You may feel like you're struggling in a furnace under relentless pressure, with unanswered questions and battles that seem endless. But understand this, my beloved. The fire is not meant to destroy you, but to refine you. The pressures are not intended to break you, but to shape you into a sturdy vessel, not just to carry blessings, but to retain them amid future storms. I am molding you day by day, minute by minute. Sometimes I press my hand heavily, not because I am harsh, but because I love you too deeply to let you live within temporary limits. I am pushing you out of your comfort zone, away from what you are accustomed to bring you into a deeper dimension where you not only know about me, but know me intimately. And in that process, I am uncovering hidden things, old wounds, distorted beliefs, unholy expectations, to replace them with a solid foundation that I have personally laid with my own hand. You think you are ready, but I know you need more time to be steadfast. You think you are slowing down, but I am holding you back a little so your roots can go deeper. What your eyes see may confuse you, but what my eyes see is maturity forming, layer by layer in your soul. That is why I am not in a hurry, because I do not want to create a person who only appears radiant on the outside, but is empty within. I want you to become someone who, when storms come, can still stand firm. Someone who, when misunderstood, still keeps a tender heart. Someone who, when everyone turns away, can still look up and say, "Even so, the Lord is faithful." I know you are carrying burdens on your shoulders that many do not see. I see the silent sacrifices, the difficult choices you have to make through tears. I see the times you keep going when you have no strength left, simply because you believe in my word. And that moves me deeply. I do not demand supernatural strength from you, but I highly value a heart that still turns to me amid times that seem directionless. You do not need to appear strong to please me. You just need to be honest and surrendered, because it is in your weakness that my power is most fully revealed. The enemy wants you to believe that pressure is a sign that I have withdrawn. But, my child, pressure is not evidence of absence. It is evidence of preparation. You are not just being prepared for a moment in time, but for a long season ahead, a season in which you will not only receive, but also give. I am preparing you so that you may carry my light into the darkest places, so that you may speak words of healing you once longed to hear, and so that you may stand firm, not because of favorable circumstances, but because of a living relationship with the one who never changes. And one day, when you look back, you will see that all the things which once seemed senseless were actually essential links connecting your life to my glory. You will see that every tear was a seed for a future harvest. Every sob was a prayer breathed in the Spirit. Every misunderstanding was a lesson in compassion. And every moment that felt like abandonment was actually a stepping stone leading you to realize that I never left you, not even for a single second. My beloved child, there will be paths you must walk alone, not because I have forsaken you, but because those around you were not called to journey with you to that specific place. There will be voices that rise up, trying to make you doubt the direction I have drawn for your life. There will be whispers telling you that you are lost, that you are chasing delusions, that you are moving against conventional wisdom. And yes, there may be days when you return exhausted, look around, and find no one who truly understands or supports you. But it is in those very moments that I want you to know I am still here, holding your hand tighter than ever before. Do not let the ignorance of others cause you to question my voice. What I have called you into was never meant to be applauded by the crowds. I did not raise you up to live by popular standards. I placed you in a position of consecration, of holiness, of a journey that only you and I fully understand. If you seek human agreement before obeying me, you will miss out on the greatness I long to give you. Therefore, remain steadfast. Let my words be the only compass guiding your every step. I know the rejections, the skeptical glances, the misunderstandings, they wear on you. But my child, my approval is more precious than all the praises that ever come from human lips. My favor is the radiant covering over your life. Even if the world fails to recognize it, heaven bears witness. What I give you is not fleeting visibility, but lasting fruitfulness. A kind of harvest that does not wither with time, that does not fade under human scrutiny, but remains ever fresh and multiplying in eternity. So guard your heart by drawing near to me. When the world becomes loud, enter into the quiet place. When others' words bring panic, seek my voice. When your heart feels confused, let me be your compass. I will not lead you around in circles or into uncertainty, but I will guide you straight into the very center of my will, where peace no longer depends on your surroundings, but flows from radical obedience. Every step you take under my guidance is never wasted. Every time you choose to trust me over your own emotions, you are planting seeds for a spiritual harvest. Do not measure the worth of your journey by what human eyes can see. There will be seasons when I hide you, not because you are inadequate, but because I am shielding you from what could ruin your harvest. There will be moments when every door appears to close, not as punishment, but to protect you from paths that do not belong to your destiny. The closer you stay to me, the more you will understand. True success is not being praised by the world, but living faithfully in the purpose I wove into your being before you ever drew your first breath. And remember this, fruit does not appear instantly. There are seasons of sowing, seasons of nurturing, and seasons of waiting. But if you remain in me as a branch remains connected to the vine, you will bear fruit, not fleeting fruit, but eternal fruit. The words you speak in me will bring life. The actions you take in me will touch the souls of others. The quiet decisions you make in obedience to me will unlock blessings that overflow not only upon your own life, but also upon generations to come. Do not compare your journey to anyone else's. Every person I have formed is a unique masterpiece. You do not need to resemble anyone. You only need to reflect the image I have etched deep within you. When you chase after someone else's pattern, you risk losing the original beauty I wove into you in your mother's womb. Let your light shine from the nearness you cultivate with me, not from a desire to impress people. And what flows from genuine obedience carries divine weight, even if it begins in quietness. Often, it is in the quiet where the strongest foundations are laid. My child, when I become your greatest treasure, you will no longer depend on the applause of men to affirm your worth. You will no longer live to satisfy fleeting approval, but to please me, the one who never turns away when you stumble, the one who is patient when you falter, the one who is willing to break every chain just to see you walk in freedom. When I am your portion, you will not fear the loss of lesser things. When I am the fulfillment of your deepest longing, you will no longer be swayed by empty promises. A time will come when those who once doubted you will witness the good fruit flowing from your life, not for your boasting, but so that they too may hunger for the source of life you have found. But before I exalt you before others, I will first lead you through places unseen by anyone else, where it is just you and me, so that I may refine you, purify you, strip away the unnecessary, and reshape you into the image of my glory. So do not fear solitude. Do not be shaken by suspicious glances. Do not be discouraged by the path that leads you against the flow of the world. You are not going the wrong way. You are walking in response to a call from heaven. Every time you choose faithfulness with no one watching, you are planting a seed. Every time you choose love over bitterness, you are watering a sacred sprout. Every time you choose forgiveness instead of retaliation, you are expanding the soil in which fruit may abound. And the day will come when, looking back, you will realize that it was in the moments of loneliness, the days of misunderstanding, and the nights soaked in tears that you encountered me most profoundly. It was in the wilderness that you learned to hear the whisper. It was in the darkness that you began to see the light. And it was through the trials that you came to know that I am not only the Almighty God, but also your Father, your friend, your source of life, and your unshakable refuge. My beloved child, more than anything else, I long for you to know that I have not called you merely to work for me, to be moral, or to follow a checklist of do's and don'ts. I have called you into an intimate, vibrant, and wholehearted relationship with me, not as a guest who visits according to a fixed schedule, but as a child who lives in their Father's house, a place where your breath moves in rhythm with mine, where you come not only to ask, but to listen, to love, and to be loved. My dear one, I am not seeking the leftover moments of your busy day. I am waiting for a true place in your heart, not what remains, not the exhausted end of your day when all you can offer is a rushed prayer. I long to be the center of your life, not an added option, but the very foundation of everything you live, think, and feel. I desire that our relationship no longer be a series of fleeting encounters, but a deep, unending intertwining of our spirits. There is so much noise surrounding you. The world speaks incessantly, pulling and dragging you in all directions. If you are not careful, you will be swept into endless cycles that weary your soul in ways you don't even understand. That is why I am gently inviting you. Step back, let go, set aside everything that is pulling your heart away. Do not worry about missing out on something out there, for if you miss me in the quiet, you miss the most essential thing of all, the life that flows from me, the source of wisdom, peace, and true purpose. It is in the stillness of your soul, when no other voice overshadows mine, that you will recognize my voice, not always loud, but always sharp, always true, always reaching the deepest places within you. In that place, I do not just wish to remind you of things you already know, but to reveal mysteries your eyes have never seen, your ears have never heard, and your heart has never imagined. There are secrets within my heart that I only share with those willing to sit long enough, to be quiet deep enough, and to open wide enough to receive them. I do not hide from you because you are unworthy, but because you must make room for my presence to grow within you. If your soul is filled with other voices, the voice of worry, of striving, of worldly pressure, how can I plant my living word there? Don't let counterfeit priorities steal the sacred time meant for me. Learn to slow down, step out of the whirlwind of tasks, needs, and expectations, and wait for me in stillness. It is there that I will not only strengthen you, but I will also heal the places within you that you never even knew were wounded. I will not merely give you peace to endure hard days, but I will place within you a holy joy, a kind of gladness that does not come from external conditions, cannot be crushed by failure, and cannot be extinguished by harsh words. It is a joy that flows from deep communion with me, like cool, fresh water from a never-ending stream. When you dwell in my presence, you will no longer live like one trying to manage everything on your own, but like one being carried, guided, and sustained by the strength of heaven. This deep communion I invite you into is not just a reward. It is the very way you are meant to exist and thrive in a chaotic world. I do not want you merely to survive, but to live boldly, brilliantly, and fully. And that only happens when your roots are planted deep in my presence each day. Not just on holidays, not just in emotional moments, but in a life of unbroken connection, where every thought is led by my spirit, and every action is born from the quiet yet powerful life of my presence within you. You will be surprised by how deeply you are transformed when you spend time abiding in me. The things that once caused you stress will no longer have power over you. The troubles that once overwhelmed your thoughts will be brought into alignment with the order of heaven. The silent fears that trailed you day after day will vanish as my light begins to shine through. And in that sacred place of intimacy, you will realize that the greatest treasure is not in receiving more, but in knowing me more. Knowing me so deeply that nothing can shake your faith again. I am ready to reveal more to you. I long to place into your hands spiritual strategies, prophetic words, and revelations about what is to come. But I do not entrust such precious things to hurried hearts. I share the deepest treasures of my heart only with those who know how to pause, how to wait, and who desire more than my gifts. They desire me. Let me be the most beautiful part of your life, the first one you seek each morning, the presence you cannot live without even for a single day. And when this communion becomes the foundation of your life, everything else will find its rightful place. You will no longer feel like you're standing on shaky ground. You will no longer rely on your own strength to carry out every task. Instead, you will witness a new strength flowing from within, a wisdom not born of experience, and a confidence not tied to outward success, but anchored in the certainty that I am with you, that I am guiding you, and that I will never forsake you. My child, I am waiting in that quiet place where there are no voices, no rush, just you and me. Do not let anything come between us. Do not let busyness become the excuse for distance. For I am not looking for a talented child. I am searching for a tender heart, a soul that is willing to open, a spirit that is ready to remain until I speak what is needed. So come, my beloved, stay with me. Let me renew your heart. Let my love soothe the bruises that have gone untouched for too long. Let my joy pour into the places within you that you thought would remain dry forever. And as you abide in me and I in you, you will bear fruit, not the kind the world defines, but the kind heaven acknowledges. What I do in you will exceed every expectation, and the fruit born of this deep union will not wither, but will remain forever. My precious one, listen closely and let these words sink deep into the core of your soul, into the place where old wounds once caused you to quietly collapse, where fear once bled silently, where repeated accusations once stripped your soul of its boldness. I do not come now to remind you of your past, but to proclaim a new reality, one I have established for you through my own blood. A reality that no one can revoke and no power can undo. Therefore, stand up tall, my child. Step out from the shadow of fear and clothe yourself in the authority of one who has been affirmed by my unchanging promise. The enemy has tried again and again to convince you that you are small, fragile, and incapable of stepping into your destiny. He has whispered that you will never overcome, that what I've promised is nothing more than a distant dream. But now, my child, expose that lie for what it is. For I, the Creator of all things, have declared that no weapon formed against you will prosper, even if they are forged in darkness, even if they are launched from tongues laced with poison or birthed from envy. They shall all fall harmlessly to the ground before they ever reach you, because you are not alone. You are covered by my presence, surrounded by angelic ranks, and shielded beneath the impenetrable covering of my mercy. Accusations may rise, but they do not define you. Tongues may rise to humiliate, to cast doubt, to distort the truth, but you will not be defeated by them. More than that, you will silence them, not because you strive to defend yourself in a human way, but because the light of righteousness I have placed within you will overpower every lie. When you walk in truth, when you live in alignment with the identity I have given you, your very presence becomes the strongest response. There is no need to shout, no need to argue. Just stand firm and let my light within you speak louder than any shadow. This is your inheritance, not because of merit, but because I have chosen you, redeemed you, and called you by the very name I have inscribed on the palm of my hand. You are not an outsider in this kingdom. You belong. You are a rightful heir, one who has been called to receive their portion in a sacred inheritance. Walk in that assurance, not with pride, but with trust in the one who began every good thing within you and is completing it by his mighty hand. Remember this, my words are not merely sentences to be recited. They are a sword, sharp, living, and active. Every time you open your mouth to declare the truth, you are pushing back darkness, breaking invisible attacks, and rebuilding the fortress of faith within your own soul. Don't wait for a miracle to come from the outside. Become the arm that acts with me. Speak life even when death seems to echo all around. Boldly proclaim my promises as though they've already been fulfilled, because true faith does not wait to see before it believes, but believes first, then sees. Doubt will try to creep into your heart, but I have given you a weapon to stand against it, my word. Use it as a living prophecy, not only for today, but to pave the way for your future. When you say, I am loved, when you declare, I am protected, I am guided, I am anointed, the heavens are shaken. These words are not empty. They carry divine power. They do not merely shift the atmosphere around you. They realign your inner being to the blueprint I designed for you. You have the right to enter into deep spiritual realms, not because you are perfect, but because I have made you worthy. Places where others only dare to watch from afar, I invite you to enter in. These are the sacred territories where heavenly blueprints are unveiled, where angels are commissioned, where dreams are shaped, and they are within your reach if you are willing to believe in the inheritance I have already given. Don't sit back and watch life pass by like a spectator. Rise up as one who knows who they are in me, not just to survive, but to influence, to transform, to carry my light into a world gasping in darkness. I have placed upon you a name no one can strip away, anointed. And the anointed does not live under oppression. The anointed does not shrink back in the face of accusation. The anointed does not forget who they are when the storm rolls in. That one rises, speaks truth, declares the promise, and steps into battle with a courage that does not come from themselves, but from the one who lives within them. And you, yes, you, are that person. Don't look around for a mold to fit. I've placed something unique inside you. I don't need a copy. I need you, fully you, with wounds I've already healed, with a voice that carries my breath, with eyes that see beyond what this world can perceive. Now I want you to look again at the words I have spoken, not merely to read them, but to consume them, to drink them in, and to live them out. Let them not remain as mere text, but become a fire shut up in your bones, so that every time you step out, my word becomes the armor that guards you, the light that goes before you, and the undefeatable strength that rises from within you. Powers may rise against you, but they will stumble. Battles may come, but you will overcome, not because you are skilled, but because you know which side you stand on. My side, the side of truth, the side of victory that cannot be overturned. So my child, do not retreat. Do not shrink back. Do not bow your head beneath the weight of the accuser. Lift your eyes and behold the truth. You are an heir to a kingdom that cannot be shaken. And heirs do not live like beggars. Heirs are not intimidated by threats. Heirs walk upright, with steady hearts, with eyes that know to whom they belong and where they are going. Clothe yourself with the strength I have already prepared for you. Speak out what I have planted within your spirit. Stand firm, not by the strength of the crowd, but by the power of truth. My beloved one, among all the things I have given you, the power to stand, the boldness to enter the holy place, and the authority to tear down the lies of darkness, there is still one treasure you must guard above all else. A tender heart, a humble spirit, and a mind that does not exalt itself. For it is precisely when I use you most powerfully that you may forget that everything you carry does not come from your own strength, but from my abundant grace. Remember this always. It is not by your cleverness that the work is fulfilled, nor by reputation or effort that doors are opened. It is I who go before you, I who prepare the way, I who lay out the victories you need. Only step into with obedience. Every time you receive praise, offer it back to me immediately. Every time a breakthrough comes, bow quietly and say, Lord, all of this is the work of your hand. It is in that posture of humility that you will be kept safe from the trap of pride, the same trap that has brought many once mighty to fall. When you choose the path of integrity, you may not always be applauded. At times you will be misunderstood. At times you will be excluded from the crowd. But my child, you are being written into heaven's record. I see every moment you choose purity when no one is watching. I hear every silent vow in your heart when you refuse to compromise for the sake of remaining faithful to me. These moments are not forgotten. They are seeds planted on holy ground, and they will yield a harvest that cannot be shaken. Guard your heart from being infected by complacency. The enemy of your soul does not only use fear to attack you, he also uses success to lull you into illusion. But I have called you to stay awake, not merely to avoid what is wrong, but to ensure that what is right remains right at its core. Do not let the grandeur of your actions eclipse the reason you began. It was for love, for holy reverence, and for the longing to live wholly in my will. You may accomplish many things for me, but what I am truly seeking is not outward achievement. It is the condition of your heart. You may build great structures, but if your soul is misplaced, those structures will crumble with time. But if you keep your heart soft, sincere, and pure, then even if your hands accomplish only small tasks, I will count them as great in the advancement of my kingdom. My beloved child, when you walk in humility, you open the door for me to lift you up, not in the way man elevates man, but in the way only heaven can, steadfast, unshakable, and untouched by the shifting of seasons. I never move in haste. I always wait for the appointed time. And if you continue walking in humility, then at the moment I have ordained, no one will be able to stop me from placing you in the very place I have long prepared. You will see. It is in those seemingly small and quiet days, in the moments you choose faithfulness in hidden places, that I am laying a foundation that cannot be shaken. You do not need to put yourself on display. You do not need to strive to be seen. Simply tend to the small things I have entrusted to you. Walk each day in honesty, in holiness, and in reverence. The day will come when I myself will open a door no one can shut. I myself will declare you before angels and before men, and on that day you will not regret having kept a humble heart. But, my child, this will only come to pass if you allow me to continually search your heart. Do not fear when I point out what is not yet upright. Do not turn away when I ask you to let go of something familiar. My correction is never meant to shame you, but to protect you from deeper downfall. I love you too much to let you continue on a path where your motives have strayed. Let me cleanse your heart as a gardener tends to his vineyard, pruning, weeding, and breaking the soil, so that the fruit you bear is the fruit of the Spirit, not tainted by ambition or carnal striving. Keep your hands pure, not only free from evil deeds, but free from hidden agendas. Let everything you do be born out of obedience, not out of a craving for recognition. Keep your eyes fixed on me, not glancing sideways to measure your worth against others. When you live this way, you will not be caught up in comparisons, in competition, or in burdens I never placed on your shoulders. And remember, I am taking care of you not as a distant master tending to a servant, but as a father who pays attention to every detail of your life. I see even the things you are too afraid to speak aloud. I know the longings hidden deep within your heart, and I am pleased, not because of how much you have done, but because you have chosen to walk in righteousness, even when it costs you, even when there is no immediate return. That is true faith, that is genuine godliness, and it is what moves heaven. When you have learned to keep your heart humble, to live in the holiness of my presence, and to walk in unshakable truth, then I want you to remember this essential truth for the journey I have destined for you. You were not redeemed to dwell alone in the light, but to be sent out as a light to others. Your salvation is not the finish line. It is the starting point of a higher calling, the calling to carry my likeness, to shine into dark places where souls are still collapsing under the weight of pain and despair. My child, this world is filled with broken hearts. There are those who smile on the outside while bleeding within. There are souls lost in the maze of trauma, in the pit of loss, and in the shadows of rejection. They don't need another theoretical sermon. They need to see love embodied. They need to feel forgiveness through a genuine embrace. They need to hear truth spoken with a gentle voice and a steadfast gaze. And I have chosen you, not an angel from heaven, but you, to be my vessel of love for them. I did not place you where you are by accident. Whether in your workplace, your family, or the community to which you belong, every environment you find yourself in is a doorway I've opened with divine intention. The people you encounter are not merely colleagues, neighbors, or casual acquaintances. They are souls I love, and I am using you as a ray of light in their lives. Never underestimate the power of your presence in any place. For a timely word, a quiet act of kindness, or a gaze free of judgment could be the key that unlocks the door to life for someone standing on the edge of despair. My child, the light you carry within you is not meant to be hidden away. It is a flame that was kindled not just to illuminate your path, but to lead others out of the darkness. Do not let the fear of being misunderstood silence you when I am calling you to speak. Do not let hesitation keep you from revealing the truth when I am urging you to shine it forth. Be bold in living authentically, not by the standards of this world, but by the standards of my kingdom. Do not attempt to please both man and me, for the day will come when you must choose between the two. And I hope you will choose what holds eternal value. When you speak the truth with sincerity, it does not come across as harsh. When you love with a heart free of hidden motives, people will notice something different. And when you live with the steadfastness that comes from heaven, those around you will begin to ask, how is it that you still carry peace when everything around you is collapsing? In those questions, the seeds of hope will be planted, and I will use you, an ordinary person, someone who was once wounded but now healed, someone who once trembled in fear but now walks in trust, as a living testimony of my transforming power. Do not wait until you feel perfect before you step out. Do not think you need to have all the answers in order to witness. Light does not need to understand the darkness in full. It only needs to shine. And you, my beloved, only need to step forward each day with a faithful heart, and I will guide you to the right person at the right moment. I will place the right words in your mouth. I will place compassion in your gaze. I will place courage in your footsteps. And you will see that even the smallest acts, a cup of cold water, a gentle question, a silent prayer, are seeds being sown in fields of eternity. But remember, you are not the source of the light. You are a reflection of my light. This truth will keep your heart humble and your spirit dependent on me. When people praise you, point them to me. When they reject you, do not let bitterness take root. When they do not respond, do not grow weary, for I see every act you do, and your reward does not come from human hands, but from me, the one who is always faithful. And never forget, when you choose to live for others, when you open your heart to become light for someone else, you are storing up treasures that cannot rot or decay in heaven. Every act done in love is recorded. Nothing is too small to be forgotten. Every time you choose mercy over judgment, forgiveness over retaliation, generosity over self-preservation, you are adding jewels to your eternal treasure stored in the kingdom above. And one day, when you stand before me, you will see that the most hidden sacrifices, the hardest decisions, the prayers whispered in the night, these are your greatest rewards. My beloved child, do not close your heart to the world for fear of being hurt. I will be your protector. Let me heal you so that you may bring healing to others. Let me fill you so that you may pour out. Let me lead you on paths you never imagined, not so that you may be exalted in the eyes of men, but so that my name may be glorified through your life. And when you live as light, not in a flashy sense, but in a holy and practical one, you are fulfilling the eternal purpose I designed uniquely for you before time began. Do not be afraid if you find yourself merely a small flicker of light in a darkened world. For in the deepest of nights, even the faintest light is enough to guide the way. And if each day you remain faithful to shine exactly where I have placed you, then the time will come when the entire sky will blaze with brightness, not because of a single great fire, but because of millions of small flames like yours that never gave up. My beloved child, now that you have been refined through countless nights of silent prayers, now that you have chosen obedience even when no light could be seen ahead, now that you have continued to love amidst your wounds and to give even in lack, I say this to you. It is time to move forward with a heart full of holy expectation, not expectation laced with anxiety, but the kind that rises from a living faith, a faith rooted in the one who never breaks his promises. I am the one who has preserved you through every fire, every battle, and who is now preparing you for a season overflowing with miracles. So, my child, do not walk as one who is merely cautious from old pain. Walk as one who believes breakthrough is near. Let your heart lift up and your eyes shine with hope. For I did not call you to merely survive. I called you to witness my power at work in every detail of your life. You are not waiting for something far away, because the miracle has already begun to take root, even in the driest soil. You may not see it, but I am working. I am carving paths in the wilderness. I am causing streams to burst forth in barren ground, and it is not because you are perfect, but because you believe. Because even with a sliver of fragile hope, you still chose to place it in my hands. Know this. I am the one who rewards, but not as the world does, based on competition or performance. I do not look at scoreboards, I look at motives. I see every moment you sat with me while others rushed away. I hear the whispered prayers no one else noticed. I count every tear you shed when you laid down fear and still chose to obey. And these hidden acts move my heart deeply. Not one faithful deed of yours is meaningless. All of them are being stored up in the heavenly realms, and at the appointed time they will fall upon your life like an unstoppable rain of blessing. Therefore, dare to hope, dare to expect breakthrough, not because you earned it, but because I am faithful. Dare to believe that doors will open in ways you never imagined. Dare to trust that answers will come. Not because you pushed for them, but because I love you too much to withhold what I've lovingly prepared. You may have grown so accustomed to disappointment that you now fear hoping for good things. But today I want to heal even that. I want to heal the mind that has grown used to know, heal the heart that has been rejected, and heal the dreams that were crushed by others' words. Oh, my child, believe that the best is still to come. Do not let past experiences shut your heart to the future. I am not recycling the old. I am making all things new. There are blessings you have not even imagined, things you never dared to ask for, and yet I've already set them aside for you. Relationships will be restored. Paths will be reestablished. Opportunities will arise, not because of your abilities, but because of my mercy and the purpose I have destined. But to see them, you must keep walking. No turning back, no settling down, no negotiating with doubt. Keep moving forward, even if it's slow. Keep going, even when you are weary. And always hold in your heart this truth. I am walking beside you, never leaving your side. Every step you take with me is never a step taken alone. You may not see me with your eyes, but listen with faith, for the sound of my footsteps echoes beside every one of yours. When you stumble, I uphold you. When you are weak, I lift you. When fear grips your heart, I infuse you with strength. And when you feel like turning back because you can no longer see hope ahead, I step in front of you, turn around, look at you with love, and say, "Keep walking, my child. What you've been praying for is closer than you think. My child, let go of the habit of preparing your heart for the worst. Instead, begin cultivating a posture of expectation for the miraculous. Each morning, tell yourself, today might be the day when the promise comes to pass. Not because you're trying to force my hand, but because I delight in a heart that dares to believe in goodness even when nothing around it seems to change. Faith like that is rare, and I reward generously those who keep it alive. When you step into new territories, whether new roles, responsibilities, or unfamiliar realms, carry with you a spirit of expectation, not fear. I never lead you to places I have not already gone before you. Every ground you step upon has already been anointed by me. Every person you encounter is part of a spiritual design. Every challenge you face is a classroom preparing you to become the one I destined you to be. And I am not merely waiting at the end of your journey. I walk with you. I correct, I comfort, I train, and I rejoice with every small step you take forward. Let that expectation be the fire that sustains your soul in the hidden days when no one sees. Let the hope for good things keep you from bitterness, from disappointment, and from the fear of failure. Let my promises be pillars within your heart, so that no matter how fierce the winds may blow, you remain unshaken. You do not need to know everything. You only need to know that I am the one who holds everything together. And as you keep walking, as you keep trusting, I will begin to reveal to you things that far exceed your understanding. You will not only witness miracles, you will become a part of them in the lives of others. The life that I have placed in you will flow outward to quench the thirst of many souls. What I do in you will be a living testimony to the world that there is a God who is alive. I am calling out urgently, earnestly, not because I simply want to speak, but because there are so many who are turning their faces away from me, drifting from the embrace of grace, while I still stand here, arms wide open, grieving yet patient. The pain is not because of their weakness, but because they have allowed the very blessings I gave to become the reason they forget me. Some cried out to me in their poverty, but once I lifted them up, they forgot that I was the one who answered. Others sought healing, but once they were restored, they chased after things that made their souls sick again. They let the blessing replace the blesser, let success eclipse my light, and let comfort quietly muffle the sound of my voice within them. My child, this is a tragedy of great magnitude, when people believe they are living in fullness, yet they have lost the only thing of eternal worth, my presence. I do not say this to condemn, but to awaken, for I know what happens when life is severed from the source. A tree may still look green after its roots are cut, but soon its withering will be exposed. So it is with a soul no longer nourished by my presence. It will one day lose the strength to rise, the light to discern between truth and deception, and the faith to hold on to what is real. And that is when darkness will begin to consume it, little by little. How many have started in me only to end up outside of me? How many hearts once burned for righteousness, only to grow cold under the weight of fleeting desires? How many once trembled in awe before my presence, but now treat my holiness lightly? You see, the greatest loss is not wealth or relationships or status. It is the loss of a living connection with me. For if you gain everything but lose me, you have truly lost all. But if you lose everything and still hold on to my presence, you still possess everything. I remind you of this not because I fear you will go astray, but because I love you too deeply to let you live shallowly in a generation. So even for that to happen, you must be decisive with distractions, with habits that erode your spirit, with all that seems harmless but slowly steals the precious time meant for me and you. Remember, no relationship grows without time, without honesty, without consistency. I am already ready. The delay does not lie with me. I am waiting. So, my beloved child, have the courage to realign your life. Look honestly at every habit, every choice, every thought, and ask, does this bring me closer to the Lord? And if the answer is no, let it go, not because you are forced to, but because you know nothing in this world is worth keeping if it takes my place in your heart. There are many who once sought me, who once longed to walk closely beside me, but over time they lost the simplicity they once had. They replaced spiritual life with outer forms, thinking they were still standing strong. They became complacent, believing that doing a few spiritual things, attending a gathering, saying a quick prayer, giving an offering, was enough to maintain a relationship with me. They no longer felt the need for me every day. They no longer longed for time in my presence as though it were breath for their souls. And it is in that very moment that a distance begins to form, not loud, not sudden, but gradual, like water seeping into stone, hardening their hearts without them even realizing it. My child, I am not glorified by rituals. I do not manifest merely because you recite a few lines. I am not drawn by the perfection of worship programs, but by a heart that is broken and longing. I do not seek a life that merely appears moral. I seek a heart that is real, a heart that knows it needs me every hour, that leans on me even when everything is going well, that runs to me when no one else can understand the wrestlings of the soul. So many today still go to church, still serve in ministries, still preach the word, yet their spirits have wandered far. They are present in body, but their hearts have long departed from the secret place with me. They read scripture, but no longer let my words soak into their bones. They pray, but their prayers have become habit, no longer the cry of a heart in love. They continue to work for God, but have forgotten the one they serve. And the most heartbreaking part is, they do not realize it. Complacency has blinded them, making them think they are still close to me, when in truth their hearts have drifted far away. I do not rebuke them because I know the frailty of humanity, but I grieve, not because I've been abandoned, but because I see them cutting themselves off from the source of life. Like a branch that believes it can live without the vine, they are slowly withering. Outwardly, life may seem fine, reputation, responsibilities, relationships, but inwardly, something has run dry. And if they do not return soon, spiritual death will come like a cold wind, extinguishing a fading flame. My child, guard yourself against complacency. Never think you are close enough to me. Relationship with me is not a destination. It is a living journey. Today, you may be fervent, but if you do not watch over your heart, tomorrow you may grow cold without even noticing. Therefore, Do not measure spiritual maturity by how much you know, but by how you live out what you know. Let not knowledge puff you up, but let your love for me keep you in deep humility. My presence is not reserved for moments of crisis. It is for every moment of your ordinary life. I do not want to be your emergency shelter, but your daily dwelling place. I want to walk with you into the market, into the school, into the office, into all the places you consider ordinary, because it is in the ordinary that my love is most powerfully revealed. You don't need to wait until Sunday to meet me. I am there every morning as you open your eyes. I wait for you in the moments when you feel useless. I sit silently beside you when you have no strength left to pray. But do you see me? Do not chase after blessings and forget the one who blesses. Blessings without me are a shell without a soul, perhaps dazzling on the outside, but empty within. They may impress people, but they will never satisfy your heart. I do not stop you from being blessed. I am the very source of every good thing, but I want you to understand this. I myself am the greatest portion you could ever receive. Not the beautiful house, not the stable job, not robust health, not the praises of man, but me, the eternal one, the unshakable treasure, the joy that never fades. My child, examine your heart. Don't just ask, what am I doing for God, but ask, is my heart still burning for God? Don't just check your calendar, check the rhythm of your soul. Does it still beat with the passion of first love? And if you find you have drifted, do not be ashamed. I am not here to condemn. I am here to call you. Come back, as simple as at the beginning. No grand gestures are required. Just come back with a tender, honest heart, with a whisper. I miss you, Lord. I will never reject a repentant heart. I will never turn away when you return, no matter how far you've drifted. The moment you turn around, I will run to you, and in my arms you will be restored, not by programs, not by spiritual performances, but by the unchanging love of the one who loved you long before you ever knew how to love me in return. My beloved child, I know every step you are taking. There is nothing in your life that escapes my sight. I understand deeply and completely every headwind you're battling against, every sleepless night spent in silent loneliness, and every sob you cannot utter into words. I know the things you dare not speak to anyone, the pain no one else can touch, the unexpected turns that seem to crush the last remaining hope inside of you. And I want you to know, right in those moments that feel unbearable, in battles that seem never-ending, and under the heaviest clouds, I am still there, closer than ever. There are times when life feels relentless, waves of trial crashing one after another, trying to drown you, wounding words, unnamed disappointments, closed doors, delayed dreams. They all seem to descend upon your weary soul at once, and you begin to wonder, Lord, are you still here? Do you even hear me? You can't even find the words to pray because your heart is already filled with shattered pieces. But my child, listen, not with your ears, but with your spirit, for I am speaking to you even in the storm. I am not only present when skies are clear and waters are calm. I don't just walk with you on peaceful sunlit days. I am the one who stands in the middle of the storm when no one else seems to understand you. I am the one who holds your hand when others walk away. I am the one who wipes your tears with promises that never fail. And when you feel like you're sinking, I am the rock beneath your feet. When everything around you feels like it's falling apart, I remain unshaken, unchanging, and never distant. Remember this, no storm is greater than my power. No circumstance lies outside of my control. I am the one who commands the winds to stop and the seas to be still. I am the one before whom the universe bows at the sound of my voice. And I have chosen to be by your side, quietly, patiently, without ever leaving you for a single moment, whether you feel me or not. You may be asking me to calm the storm around you, but I may be using the storm to calm the one inside you. You may be longing for me to change the situation, but I am using the situation to transform you, not to harm you, but to make you stronger, deeper, more resilient, and more complete. Come closer to me, especially when you feel the weakest. Don't wait until everything is back in place to seek me. Seek me right in the middle of the chaos. Pour your heart out, in your tears, in your silence, in your trembling. I will not turn away. I have never turned away. Every tear that falls from your eyes is gathered by me. Every word you cannot form, I understand completely. I do not require strength from you to come near. I only desire sincerity. Come, even if it's only a whisper. Come, even if it's just a fragile glance of faith. Come, because I am always waiting. It is in the moments of testing that you have the opportunity to enter into deeper intimacy with me. Not an intimacy built on theory, but a living connection forged through tears, through the long nights where you refuse to give up, through every moment you choose to stay, even when you don't understand why. True love is not formed in ease, but refined in affliction, in faithfulness, in surrender, when there's nothing left to hold on to but me. And that is what I desire for you, not because I am harsh, but because I know this. A relationship forged in the storm is a relationship that nothing can break. You may be asking, why me, Lord? I've obeyed, I've believed, I've prayed. But my beloved, know this: I never allow anything to happen without purpose. Every trial you are enduring is part of the good and perfect plan I designed long ago. I do not cause the pain, but I know how to use it to birth miracles. And one day, you will look back and see that the very burdens you thought were breaking you became stepping stones that brought you closer to me. The wounds you carried became sacred marks of divine encounter. And what you once thought was loss became the gateway through which you received more than you ever dared to imagine. Do not fear if you feel yourself growing weaker, for in your weakness, my power is revealed most perfectly. When you have no strength left, I become your strength. When you no longer know how to pray, my spirit intercedes for you with groanings too deep for words. When you can no longer see the way ahead, I will go before you and light the path. And when you are lost and disoriented, I will reach out and draw you back with my hand. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are not walking alone. And if you will simply keep believing, if you will keep moving, however slowly, however trembling, then you will see the goodness I have promised unfold before you. You will see the storm come to a halt, not because you're strong enough, but because I am the one who commands every wind. You will encounter peace, not from the ease of your circumstances, but from the unshakable assurance that I am holding you in the midst of the chaos. And you will come to know, in a deep and unshakable way, that I am faithful. So don't let go. Don't retreat. Don't let pain convince you to doubt my love. Let the very storm become the reason you run closer to me. Let your stumblings become the place of sacred encounter. And let this painful journey not merely lead to healing, but to a bond between you and me that can never be broken. For one who has weathered the storm with me will become a bearer of peace to those still caught in the tempest. My dear child, what you have felt here is not a fleeting emotion. It is the beginning of restoration. I am not done speaking, and I am certainly not done healing. Every time you return here, you step back into my presence. This space is not just a channel. It is a holy well, carved into the noise of the world, where I come to meet you in the stillness. So come back, again and again, not for content, but for communion. Subscribe, not to follow a voice, but to remain connected to mine. Turn on the bell, not for alerts, but for reminders that I am still whispering in the waiting. And share this, not as promotion, but as prophetic rescue. Someone you know is drowning in the same silence I just shattered in you. Let me use your obedience to reach them. You are not walking alone. With every video, every word, every whisper I pour out here, I'm drawing you deeper into wholeness. So return, beloved. Not just when you're hurting, but even when the light begins to shine. Because what I started in you, I will finish. I am here. I will be waiting. And the next word I speak could be the one that unlocks your breakthrough. Amen.